There is a storm coming. 70-mile-an-hour winds, 75-mile-an-hour winds are about to hit. Okay, I came out in the rain to get some supplies at Walmart. Obviously, we needed some paper towels and supplies. The good news is I saw some moles in my yard at my house. So I'm excited because it's really hard to find people to allow you to experiment on their yards or their pests and not necessarily get rid of them. So we've been talking about doing the Myths of Pest Control series, and so I now have a chance to try one of them. So they tell me that juicy fruit gum, and if you look at it online, they say juicy fruit is somehow an attractant, and they eat it and it plugs them up and then they die. But I'm not believing it. But we're gonna test it. So step 1, buy juicy fruit. Step 2, find moles. Got those. So let's go take a look and see what kind of damage I can do. Well, we're outside. So
finally we are doing something pest control related.
And of course it's been raining.
Because we're filming pest control again.
Well, yeah. It's good that it's been raining because today we're talking about moles, right?
Absolutely.
And if it's not raining, what's the problem with moles?
They're going deep and you can't find them. They're not making tunnels, really.
Well, here's the thing that people don't understand. Moles are carnivorous.
What does that mean?
That means that they eat meat. Well, in their case, earthworms. They could eat some bugs. They could eat grubs.
So proteins.
Proteins, yeah. So a lot of people think there's some myths about how to treat for moles, and we want to cover some of those. They say if you do grub control that it's going to get rid of your moles. Can it help? It probably can if you get rid of some of their food, but their main food source is earthworms, no matter what. If you got chocolate cake or rice cakes,
I'm coming to your chocolate cake. In fact, I'll be to your house later.
Yeah, so it's earthworms is their main food source. So you can't get rid of those. Whether you get rid of the grubs or not, that's one thing. So as it dries, the earthworms are going to go deep.
The earthworms, they can't stay up where there's no moisture, and you guys know that. So wherever the moisture is, in fact, I've had tires or something in my yard where the moisture is retained, wherever those areas are, I can find the earthworms. If you don't have anything holding the moisture in the yard, those earthworms are going to dive deep.
Yep, and the moles are going to follow them. So when it's moist and it's been raining, you'll see more tunnel action because they're going to be higher and closer to the surface.
So we hear a lot of myths out there, and the biggest one that we hear is the juicy fruit myth.
Get your skis shined up, grab a stick of juicy fruit. The taste is gonna move ya. Take a sniff. Pull it out. The taste is gonna move you when you pop it in your mouth.
Juicy fruit gum. So we'll have to give you some background. They say that only juicy fruit is the flavor that they want.
Because it has the best smell, has the best flavor, has the best savory taste. I don't know.
I think Wrigley's got in on this and they decided it was good for marketing. I don't know what the reason is, but we'll test it. We'll test juicy fruit. I would prefer Cobalt from 5 Gum because that's my favorite. Or you liked what, Dentine?
I'm an extra guy.
Extra, that's what it is.
Yeah. How do you know what I like?
I don't know.
That's weird.
I've seen
Ben knows like he likes.
I've seen what's in your truck.
Okay, I do have Dentine. I sometimes extra, but Dentine.
Okay.
Anyway.
So let's talk about where this came from. So you can look online and you can see suggestions about how to do this and how to prepare.
And there are a bunch of different ways of going about doing this. But what we found out is yes, sometimes the moles do go away, but what's the reality behind them going away?
Well, our simple explanation is you've molested their mole runs enough,
I like that word.
or put stuff in there that is putting off a scent. Obviously it puts off a scent.
Well, and there's so much human activity in that area
that they would likely abandon that area.
That's the reality behind it.
So in a sense, I guess the gum could work because it will drive them away. But
you could realistically have your kids go play in that area for 3 days in a row and not have to buy any juicy fruit.
Yeah, well, that too. The fact of the matter is, if they do move, they're probably not moving very far. They'll go from where they've destroyed this part of the yard to probably over there where they haven't yet destroyed.
And if you have a
part.
big yard, yeah, they'll move to a different part of the yard. Or if you have a small yard, they're going to move to the neighbor's yard for a little bit, and then they'll be right back.
When that juicy fruit runs out, yeah.
Yeah, the juicy fruit.
So there's a couple of methods we've seen online where they say you're supposed to chew it up and then put it in the runs.
Okay, I know for a fact, because when we put baits for moles in a hole, we can't touch those baits with our hands.
We have to use gloves.
So if you're chewing that up, I can promise you 1,000%
they're not going to eat it.
They're not going to eat it because your breath is nasty. So is mine.
Well, human oils on your skin transfer into baits, and pests don't typically like that. Chewing it up is probably not the best way. So I've seen where they say to chop it up into little itty bitty pieces. How small should we chop it?
Size of a period on a sentence.
That's really small.
That's how much gum would it take? How much wood could a woodchuck chuck?
Hey, you dang woodchucks! Quit chucking my wood!
I mean, it would take so much gum.
That's unrealistic for us to chop it
and
up.
There's no way that would gum up their digestive tract. They couldn't eat enough of that.
So my thought is, you have so many different delivery methods that you're covering your bases of why it doesn't work. So we're gonna try a couple of areas with a full stick. We're gonna try some chopped up. What else do we need to say about juicy fruit?
Well, it is and everybody that has been around for a long period of time, I've heard that myth come out of their mouth. Juicy fruit.
Juicy fruit is gonna move ya. It juices soft, it gets right to ya. Juicy fruit, the taste is gonna move ya.
Juicy fruit. I promise it works. My dad told me it works. My grandpa told me it works. It's one of those myths that have been around forever, and so that's why we're hounding this one, and we're gonna flesh this one out.
Yeah. So I do have like 3 or 4 trails that just popped up on the edge of my yard, and so we're gonna go ahead and prep some juicy fruit.
How do you prep juicy fruit?
Well, I'm gonna have to cut some of it up into
Okay.
little bits, and then we're gonna go ahead and poke a hole in the tunnel. Now, what happens when you poke a hole in the tunnel is they're very sensitive to light, so they will
Well,
come.
not just light and any type of air coming in.
Yeah.
Whenever they feel that air flow, they will come and seal that hole back.
They'll patch it up, just like termites do with their mud runs. So we'll poke a hole, we'll get juicy fruit in there, and then we're going to watch it over the next couple weeks. They say it takes a couple of weeks.
Well, yeah. If it's not working after a month,
Try something
else.
That's what we read.
If you got moles for a month, you've got problems, and they're not going anywhere.
So we'll try it. We'll put it to the test. We'll listen to their time frames, and then we'll let you know what we come up with. And then if that doesn't work, I'm going to get the burrow machine and I'm going to smoke them out.
You're going to do it right?
I'm going to do it right.
I've got some quarter sticks too. You want to do that?
Well, I don't know about that.
Anyway, so there you go. Fast forward 2 weeks.
Here I am in the kitchen. I'm going to prepare some of this juicy fruit. I put gloves on because, I don't know, when we bait, we try not to let the oils of our skin interfere with the baits. So I don't want to do that with this. We'll start getting some of this ready to see if it works. I'm not sure what it is about Wrigley's, but they do have a a paper wrapping instead of a foil wrapping. I don't know if that has anything to do with it. Tastes like Wrigley's. All right, I'm gonna leave one stick untouched. They say to bait with about a stick's worth, so when I cut them up, I'm gonna have to remember how many sticks. I guess I did way too much. So maybe I'll do, there's 4 sticks, 1 stick. And I'll cut these all up. This is actually 8 sticks. So I'm gonna remember that. Cutting these up to the size of a ballpoint pen is ridiculous. Unrealistic. Okay. All right, I've got my bait set up here. Got some full sticks. And I've got some little itty bitty bits. Grabbed a bolt, starter bolt. This is going to be my probe because I don't want to do anything that you don't have readily available to you. So everybody has gloves, everybody has some sort of screwdriver, bolt, and then you can buy Wrigley's. I've got some areas here where there's been mole activity, like right here. Oh yeah. This trail goes down there. You can see it here. Comes here, goes over here, here's another spot, turns, and then goes that way. So this is going to be a pretty good spot. Oh, and there's another end of it right here. The way the trails work is you usually will have a main trail, and then it branches off of that. Those are the exploratory runs where they're looking for worms, and so you want to try to find a main run, one of the longest, straightest ones they have. So this one seems to connect to all of these. So I'm going to go ahead on this one. I'm going to go ahead and put a full stick. It does open up down there. And I went ahead and patched that. I don't know if that's going to help or not. All right. I'm also going to come over here. You can see right here is another part of that main run. Sure enough, it feels like it's wide open down in there. All right, I patched that one too. All right, another spot here. This one, I'm going to put 2 sticks down, but I'm going to leave it open. So we'll test the theory of whether you're going to cover it or leave it open. So we've got that area there. We'll run over here and look at another area. Well, I will say, it's pleasant to chew on while you're baiting. 2 sticks is about right for me. I don't know if the moles are going to like it the same way. There's another spot over here by where the garden was last year. that's pretty prevalent. Let's see. So I know it's hard to see on camera. There's a trail coming through here between the trees. You can see it right here, and it's right through here. And then it continues on. So that's a pretty big run. And then when I probe it, it's definitely open. So I'm going to open up 2 spots on this run and put a bunch of the little particles in. Okay, so here's the main run that I see. So what I've got here is I've got my hole, and it's very open under there. So we're gonna put a bunch of these cut up particles down in there. I'm gonna leave that one open. Okay, the main run comes around the corner here, and it's running right along this board. Oh yeah. It's pretty open down there, so we're gonna go ahead and put the rest of these down in there. And I'm gonna close that one back up. So as my test, I've got one that's closed, one that's open, some that are full sticks and some that are chopped up. I think I'm going to find one more spot to stick this chewed gum. Okay, I found another spot here. So we've got a main run coming all the way from up there down through here, and it looks like they got a bunch of exploratory runs. So this is going to be our main. I'm going to put the chewed gum right in this one. Okay. All right. Okay, that's that. So now we baited. Now we wait and see. We'll check it in a couple of days and see what's going on. All right, we're just leaving my house. A couple of things that we wanted to do while we're testing these pest control techniques, I guess we'll call them until we can call them myths for sure. We're giving them every chance that we can to be successful. So on this one in particular, we waited till there was active mole activity and knowing the spots, being able to isolate them. We also tried all the techniques that were listed that we could find online. Chewed up, cut up, and also full pieces. So we did all of those. We did use the method of covering the hole and leaving it open in different spots on both. So that way we know if they're finding it because they're going to patch the hole, or if they're finding it because of the gum itself. So we want to give it every chance that we can to make it as successful as possible. I did wear gloves so that I didn't contaminate the pieces of gum with oils on my skin or anything that would deter the moles from coming and feasting on the juicy fruit. So hopefully we can find some conclusive results on this, but right now it's a waiting game. So that's part one. We'll come back to this and we'll check on it and kind of keep you guys in a loop on what's going on. If you have a home remedy that you know works on any kind of pest, send it to us or put it in the comments. We'd like to know kind of what those are so that we can attack those. Like I said before, the hardest part about this is finding a place to test them, because if somebody has ants real bad, they're not really willing to give us a few weeks to try different tactics. They really want it taken care of right then and there. So it's hard to find people to test on, but we're working on it. So starting with moles, we'll start with those and see where we go to next. But if you have a pest solution that you've tried and you think works really well, put it in the comments below. We want to see those. And if you've tried stuff that didn't work, let us know too. We're always curious. So thanks for watching. We appreciate you guys. It's good to be back on pest control. We'll do some other fun stuff here coming up, but for now we're gonna get on this series. We're gonna make it happen. So thanks for watching. Thanks for sticking it out with us. We'll see you guys in a couple of days. All right, everybody, it's not dark out. Well, it is dark out. It is not late on a Friday, and it's been super hot today. So those of you that don't live in the Midwest don't understand how cool the storms are. We haven't had a lot this year, but there is a storm coming. The guys have been calling me and telling me how crazy it is, like trees snapping and stuff, but apparently 70 mile an hour winds, 75 mile an hour winds are about to hit in the next 10 minutes. So I got to go to the UPS store and send a package real quick. Then I'm sure when I walk out, it's going to be crazy. I am glad that I grabbed the GoPro this afternoon. We may see some cool stuff here in a minute. So stick around. I'm running away from it a little bit, but behind me it's very dark. Lots of lightning. Still about 10 minutes. But I just passed a fireworks tent that's still up. I don't know why. It's late in July for a fireworks tent to be up. But anyway, they're going to lose it. Or it's going to have some issues. Because the sides were up, and so it's just the roof. It's going to be like wind's going to whip underneath it. That's going to be bad. Anyway, pretty quick here. We're going to have some action. So I'm listening to the radio as this storm's coming in and they're talking about it, and they just said 70 to 90 mile an hour winds. They're like, that's category 1 hurricane. So that's what they are just covering on the radio, is that the wind speed is picked up 70 to 90, which is pretty wicked for here. So we're gonna lose some trees, we're gonna lose some stuff, but it's coming. All right, it's getting awesome. I don't know if you heard that, but that was like a crack of thunder. Oh, they're saying that the winds are kicking up like major dust. So that's why the clouds are so dirty. Oh crap, there's lightning. Yeah, I'm a couple miles from home, and it's gonna get there just about when I do. Can't see it, but this dude in front of me has got his phone out his sunroof trying to record. He should have a GoPro and be more professional. Oh snap. Okay. Holy crap. Those lightning strikes sound like bombs. Crazy. They were bright and they sound like bombs. So there's no delay and no rumble. Just crack. We're gonna get there. Okay. I'm home, and it's dark, and I'm gonna try and make a run for the door. You hear the thunder? It's awesome. Sorry, I get excited about this. Oh, there's the wind. Oh my, check this out. just missed a really big one, but scared the crap out of me.